It's Michelle Lavis here, and I'm with Paul Schaller with the Citizens Against Fountain Point LLC, and this is a huge project for Logan County. So, Paul, what's your group doing? Where have they been?
We are trying to oppose a 280 megawatt solar field that will be put in right behind me. It'll run all the way from 142 to 292, and we've been battling it for 4 years.
For 4 years?
Mm-hmm. The initial group we founded was called No Solar in Logan County.
Okay.
And we went around and tried to advocate for the responsible placement of solar panels. And we also tried very hard to get the entire county to oppose solar. So we were able to get every township except for Miami to get on board with banning, drawing up resolutions to ban their township from solar and wind development. And all the townships went to the county commissioners, and the county commissioners drew up a resolution to ban the entire county except for the incorporated areas and Miami Township. They didn't have any interest in it at the time. Since then, Miami Township has joined in, and now they're banned too. So every township in Logan County is restricted from solar and wind development.
Right. And do you know when that was completed?
Roughly. The 16 was in 23.
Okay.
And then Miami just joined 2-3 months ago.
Yeah. So the House Bill 52 was in 2021,
Correct.
Right? Which allows for the restriction. And so you guys were a couple of years after that, getting everybody coordinated
Correct.
and done. And from what I understand, you don't have any solar panels yet.
Negative.
This is the last one. The Pine Gate was dropped.
There was going to be 5 solar fields within Logan County. There was going to be one down in Liberty Township or Perry Township. There was going to be one that bled in from Hardin County into ours. There was going to be one in right in Bell Fountain. There was going to be one, a giant one over by the lake, and all of them have been.
And so they've all gone away, but this one is sticking around.
Yeah,
this one's sticking around, so it's very stubborn. And you guys have been working for years, going door to door, getting this movement going, educating people.
Yep. We held a giant public information meeting at Ben Logan High School. I think it was in March of 2022. We probably had 300 or 400 people there.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. That's wonderful. That's wonderful.
It has been quite effective.
Yes. Yeah. So what's the deal with this one? If all your things are restricted and nobody wants it, and you've got, all these people against it, how's come this one is continuing?
There's a couple of reasons. It was grandfathered in under Senate Bill 52, meaning that it if it received a feasibility and impact study from the PJM prior to Senate Bill 52 being signed, the county commissioners are not able to restrict it from being built. So that's why this one's hanging around. Plus, part of the issue is that the developing company is Invenergy, and Invenergy owns the solar panel manufacturing facility that's in Pataskala. So they're a darling of the state.
Right. Yeah, they're huge. They've got a huge team behind them.
Well, we got all the townships to restrict solar. That was a big move.
And then you can present that. You present that to the Ohio Power Sitting Board that says, "Hey, we're all restricted. We don't want this." What about the commissioners? The
commissioners actually signed on to our case with the Power Siting Board as interveners.
Okay.
But they didn't say anything at our evidentiary hearing because they were a little bit conflicted. One of the members of the commissioners was the ad hoc voting member within the Power Siting Board, so he couldn't speak to it. And the other 2 commissioners at the time, one of them's been replaced now, but they were conflicted within themselves. One of them was okay with solar and the other one wasn't. So their attorney was present, but he said nothing, which was actually a big hit to us.
As far as the township, what township is this?
This is Boakes Creek Township.
Boakes Creek Township. And what are your trustees?
We have 3 trustees. 2 of them are land lease owners in the project. So the township is unable to hold a quorum on anything Fountain Point
Right.
related. The third member of the trustees spoke at our evidentiary hearing at the OPSB in favor of the project. He was supposed to be speaking as just a private citizen, but the power siting board
Right.
took his as an official Boakes Creek on the record kind of thing, you know.
Right.
And that's one of the things we're fighting within the Supreme Court now.
Okay, so you've gone from the Ohio Power Sitting Board and fighting within their jurisdiction.
Yeah, they granted the project an operating permit, and then we appealed it, and they granted it again, and we appealed it again, and they granted it again. So now we are appealing it to the Supreme Court.
Okay, and this has been a 4-year process.
Yes.
Of working through this appeal back and forth. So now that you're in the Supreme Court, what's that going to look like?
We have petitioned the Supreme Court to accept our case, and they did.
That's great.
We filed, the next step is for us to file a merit brief, which we have done. The next step is that the Power Siting Board and Invenergy file their merit briefs, which they did. The next step after that is for us to file our reply brief, which we did just yesterday. Great. And the next step after that is oral arguments, which will probably be sometime in 2026.
Okay. Support that the Ohio Power Sitting Board, the law, so there's the laws that go with, you have to show that it's the health and safety, right? And that you have support from the community. What is that, the verbiage on that?
It's that it fills the public interest, need, and convenience. There's eight different criteria, and I don't remember them all, but the only one that we are able to fight or argue is, does it fit the public interest, need, and convenience?
Right.
And we've gotten support from all of the local Ohio representatives and senators. The commissioners are on board. Every township within Logan County is on board. We have done everything.
Right. The Ohio Power Sitting Board saying that basically they're saying that all 3 of your township trustees are supportive, even though the one was speaking as a citizen and the other 2 can't speak.
Correct.
Okay.
That is correct.
And you did have a letter from the school.
Yeah, the school board superintendent drew up a letter and sent it to the Power Siting Board saying that he and the rest of the members of the school board are in support of it. But he did that illegally because there was never they never discussed it in a public meeting.
Right.
So the only person who did support it was John Shue, the superintendent, and he had to rescind that support after.
Now, does that go to your case?
Yeah, the Power Siting Board though didn't really acknowledge that he rescinded it, and that's again one of the reasons why we're at the Supreme Court.
Right. So, all your state reps, your local government people, your citizens are all saying this isn't working in the best interest of our county, or your township. And the Power Sitting Board still says that they have enough evidence to say that it's their support, even though there really isn't.
Right. They're trying to say that the one township trustee, they're trying to show that he is a township trustee, but he can't really speak as a township trustee on his own. And that's what we're trying to fight is the fact that the Power Siting Board chose to acknowledge him illegally and acknowledge the school board illegally. Right.
Because those testimonies really fall flat.
Yes.
And with the overwhelming support of the people. So
the Power Siting Board also found that a state senator, Bill Seitz, whose district is in like Hamilton County down by Cincinnati, he sent in a letter of support, and they're trying to show that that has some relevance, but he's not local. It's supposed to be local government, not
right. So you've done all the fighting. You guys have used your own volunteer hours, manpower hours, setting
Yep.
up the LLC, um, doing all the legal side work on it, and now you're at the Supreme Court, which is a huge expense.
Yes.
Just even that is massive, and it's so when you go through oral arguments because that's what you're coming to next.
Right.
What is it? What are your hope that is going to come from that? That you'll show that there isn't support.
Yeah, the hope is that the Supreme Court will see that the Power Siting Board made some illegal decisions,
Right.
and that they will vacate the case completely.
Right.
Our other option is that they will say that the Power Siting Board acted illegally and it needs to go back to the Power Siting Board and be reheard.
Right.
We're not sure which way it's going to go.
Right. So it could kind of the Supreme Court can kind of kill it there, or just say, hey, you need to go do this again.
Yep.
With new evidence. They can go back to the file that you already have, and look at the case and see if they can find that support.
I would
But
imagine
that
there would be another evidentiary hearing within the Power Siting Board
Right.
if they sent it back to the
right.
Power Siting Board.
So what do you need from our citizens? Because this is not a done deal. We don't know how long this is going
Nope.
to take. This is a massive project that's going to, what you said, it was 240 megawatts?
280.
280
Yeah, it's
megawatts.
like 2,500 acres.
Yeah,
Somewhere in that.
That is huge. Is it all in Logan County?
It's all in Logan County, and it's all in Boakes Creek Township. It was going to be bigger.
Wow.
Initially, it was going to be in Perry Township and some in Rush Creek Township, but they've shrunk it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot of land
Yeah.
for one township.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's massive. So how can we help? How can citizens, not only in Logan County but Hardin County, surrounding counties, how can we help support you and what your work that
We
you're doing?
need recognition. We need everybody to know about this project. So you can go to the Power Siting Board and go to our case number, which
We'll link that below.
We'll link that below. And you can write letters to the Power Siting Board and say that you're totally in opposition to this project. It's terrible for the county. It's terrible for our community. And you can do all that. We have a GoFundMe page, and you can donate money. So far we've spent enough money from the citizens of this small rural community. We've spent enough money in legal fees to buy a small house.
Right.
And it's going to be, there's going to be more.
Right. Depending on how long this drags out through the Supreme Court and what happens after that. But the ultimate goal is to get this
stopped.
Yeah. Well, we will. I appreciate all your work of your group, and kind of being ahead of this and tirelessly working. I've heard stories of how many doors are knocked, and you think about not just in this township this township, but all the ones around the county.
Yep.
And really preserving the land that we all get to enjoy because we're all neighbors.
I mean, the crazy part is that this is some of the most fertile ground in the country. There's a band that stretches through Ohio, and it's the most fertile ground in the country. And to build solar panels on it that are 13% efficient at best makes 0 sense.
Right. Our farm ground is important. We need to keep it local.
Yep.
We need to keep it clean. So, well, thank you for having me.
Appreciate
it. And get the links, help support this group, and let's continue to fight solar in Hardin County and surrounding areas. Thank you.